has placed itself onto the racetrack. And lo and behold, in a new paint scheme this week as well, it is the 33 of Zachary Lovelace once again on the pole. He had won at the Red Bull Ring, and he had an absolutely dominant fashion. And apparently the last paint scheme for him, he has decided to go more, what's the word, simplified paint scheme. And I kind of like that. New Texas Speed paint scheme with the Chrome 33. Brian McCann starts to his right-hand side. Luckily for Zachary Lovelace, this will be for him going into turn 1.
We're racing for second here, man.
Daniel McConnell in the 72. It's been a while since we've
Zachary over here to my left is a professional road racer.
Starts on the right-hand side in the 4th place position. Row 3 holds Heberly Telmack as well as Sean.
I actually don't know if he is or not, but
speed driver.
That's what we're going with.
May or not have gotten the likely not gotten the memo that Lovelace has decided to opt for a quote-unquote
how's it going
scheme for this week. Of course, they're still teammates nonetheless.
I'm fine. Thanks for asking.
Starts off in 7th.
Hey, repeat.
Travis starting off on the outside. Apparently, lap time did count.
Hey, Brian.
Start oddly enough.
Fancy meeting you here.
The fact that he went off.
Good for you to show up just in time.
The rest of the field did not set a qualifying time. Philip Chavez starts off in 9th in the 101 with Tony Brent rounding out the top 10 cars. Starting off.
Derek, you might as well just go ahead and log off and go to bed.
You have chrome on their cars. I can't tell from this angle.
Lovelace has already won this race. It's just for everybody else to realize that.
Will grid to his right-hand side in the empty spot on the 12th place position. At least I would say that if Ryan Lynch didn't miss.
He won the last one by
very interesting.
About a full track.
And on the status of that
this
number
one will
3,
probably be about the same.
Starts off 13th, and Dave McConnell starts off in 14th, and that is.
People make mistakes. You never know.
Well, the reason why he won by like a full track last time, my computer crashed.
I do remember that, and you came back and you stayed on the lead lap too.
Well, if I wreck him, I got to wreck him good enough to
it's technically afternoon.
Make him slow.
Sunset.
Break his car a little bit.
Evening time zone. We'll see how things go regardless, though. The stage ends at lap.
All right, Brian. Good luck.
Thank you.
This car pulls off the field in control of the 33 Zachary Lovelace. Hypothetically, if he really wants to, he could just go right now. We'll see how that fares. Let's see if he decides to do the gentleman's agreement, the pseudo-gentleman's agreement, just to wait until the main start line. It looks like that will be the case. The green flag flies here at Sonoma, and we are underway. Brian McCann with a great start over Zachary Lovelace.
All right, Zachary left rear.
In the turns 1, 2.
Backside.
Keep right there.
Third lane on the.
There you go. You are clear.
Does not go in the face.
Still in qualifying mode. Hold on.
Lovelace, shockingly, Brian McCann may have been doing a little bit of practice here in the off week that we had. I say off week, in the off time that we had throughout the week. Because just like that, Brian McCann in control. Michael Thorpe has remained in the 2nd place position. Daniel McConnell, 4th, 5th place is Heberly Telmack.
Is he sandbagging or what's happening?
Daniel McConnell lost position to Doug Pierce, and all the way here in the background, luckily for any fans of Ryan Lynch, he is still here. He has made it.
Hit your marks.
Although he might be having hardware issues. Let's ride on board for a second.
There you go. You're going to lead lap number 1. Good job.
I got a point.
Good job, man. Now you're the leader.
This is something I've
about that
before. So Ryan Lynch, maybe this is why. Maybe in qualifying, he noticed these issues that he's having. Does he decide to continue? He does. He has a lot of time between himself and the leader. Not sure what kind of issues he is having, but he is having issues, of course, of, well, some sort. So we'll see how it's fair. I would drag him in to ask him that question, but don't really want to bother him while he's driving. So we'll see how things fare in the meantime for that number 3 machine. Whew, wow, these drivers, every single time they cut it close to that wall off turn. Actually, I don't even know what turn that is. It might be turn 7, maybe 7A, 7B. Regardless, off that corner down the short chute, it is terrifying because that wall is right there. So you can utilize all that runoff if you want to. There's no more gravel there like there have been in years past, but the wall says otherwise, and those tires will be out to get you if they decide to be a little bit more pressing this that lap versus another. Again, stage ends at lap 20.
Much better. Good job.
There's a lot of time to...
That looked good.
Yeah, I wasn't sliding. Last time I was a four-wheel sliding.
Make sure.
We got a little bit more grip this lap.
Going to be stable, especially in the sense that the 13 of Hunter Carson's, whose Aeronets decided to not be stable. William Duff into pit road on lap 1. Ryan Lynch still running around at a, for some reason, leisurely pace, but William Duff in pit road. He has not been handed any penalty by race control. It's definitely off the track here a little bit earlier on in this race. It might have been Tony Brent because he was a little bit wide. Just caught the end of that. He caught the entire curve throughout that corner. Let's see how these drivers take to this course. The curves are deadly, and unlike the Red Bull Ring where we were earlier this season, the curbs will bite you, and they are absolutely deadly. So will the, well, I say the grass is technically more gravel. It's mistaken for gravel more than anything. To about 40 miles an hour throughout this hair.
You have a better exit than he does by far.
Very early outshift.
That means he's not going to take tires.
Blaze, just trying to make sure the car stays under him. Of course, we're about to say that he scrapes the outside wall, but still hangs onto it regardless.
20.088.
Looks like both William Duff and Ryan Lynch have decided to pull it behind into the virtual garage for the moment.
Yeah, on entry, my brake bias is too far back.
He has actually. This is just on the uphill section going back downhill.
I'm going to go up one click before I go into it this time.
Very, very gingerly throughout the uphill section. The elevation changes here are brutal, to say the least, especially with the transition with these cars. So we'll go ahead and back for a replay to see what happened to the 26 of Travis Start. Uphill, and yep, just that transition snaps the rear of the car around. Luckily, nothing too major for the 26 of Travis Start, so didn't end up in the wall. And I would say that it's just not ending up in the wall and making sure you hang on to the car. Speaking of hanging on to the car, now that we're 5 laps in, Lovelace may have finally gotten the hang of his car. Now that he's gotten into the rhythm, he has caught right back up to the 8 of Brian McCann. Phil Chavez has gotten by Tony Brent. Go ahead and switch the timing tower to the intervals for the time being, the gap between each car. See if McCann somehow pulls off a surprising road course win. Had a little bit of bad luck at the Red Bull Ring, then pulled it back to finish still somehow in the lead lap, I believe, after a connection issue had bit him. And yet somehow through all that, not only did he manage to stem the lead lap, I think he finished about 8th, if not 10th. 6th. Double checking the results of that race in particular. 4th, actually.
That brake bias change helped a whole lot.
Brian McCann finished.
Oh, wow, we were all wrong.
So, no stranger to road courses, and of course, these drivers, no doubt, no stranger to this track in particular. So, maybe this is why McCann has little bit more of a hang of this track versus Red Bull Ring since, well, NASCAR Series goes to this track as opposed to the Red Bull Ring, which is more for MotoGP, if not the various open wheel series, Formula 1, Formula 2, and Formula 3, the Porsche Series, Porsche Carrera Cup being one of them. This race for the lead, just about to start heading up. Down to the short chute. Does Lovelace make a move? No, he does not. Thorpe's still hanging strong.
That was slow, Derek.
Position. Daniel McConnell still hanging strong.
You had the best time.
So switch it back to the gaps to the leader.
There's something about 2 a.m. in the morning and me not being able to race.
Lovelace is throwing this car around, that is for sure. Down into the hairpin. A very easy place to lock up the front brakes, which is an absolute pain once you lock them up and you just have nowhere to go, especially when
No, I think you had the best average.
in front of you.
That or Kevin. Maybe Kevin did. I don't think it was me.
Watch your entry up here. There you go. Much better.
And see, the gap has continued to close, if not stagnate, maybe a little bit, between Lovelace and McCann. Over the curbs they go.
Aaron!
This is slightly uphill and then diving downhill. The car just loves to get light throughout here, especially when,
Nice to see you, Aaron. How's it going?
in some cases, if you're Lovelace, getting left side tires into the
I saw your video you posted on WSSR about the rallycross thing. That looked pretty cool.
Very, very careful on the brakes into the hairpin, which is the key thing that you have to do here. I mean, to be fair, you have to be careful on the brakes everywhere with this track.
You were willing that thing.
The elevation changes are, again, brutal. Lovelace using all of the available racetrack to him on the right-hand side. Enough that he scraped the wall a couple times, but you know what? If it works, and it works. As they say in racing, it's one thing to catch a driver, it's another thing
Yeah, we need more drivers in here.
on this particular road course, especially the curbs are absolutely brutal. You have to be careful. In a sense, you have to aim for the curves, but not aim for the curves. Watch the line that McCann takes here. Aim for the curves, but just brush by them ever so slightly. In some cases, you can take the curves, and in some cases, kind of better, like right through here. Sending the right side of the car up into the air, touching the left side rumble strips, doing that again uphill, all the way downhill. Level ground, left side tires on the curbs. Right side tires just ever so slightly, carry the speed, drift out wide. Then hard onto the brakes, downshift. Sometimes the first gear if you're feeling like you really need a pull away on the front stretch.
Dang!
Stay in second, upshift to third.
Where was Kevin at? Was he better?
41 laps or so. Shadow Star and Tony Brent had passed each other on the racetrack. This right here is the closest battle on the racetrack. Battle of who's better on the road courses. And at least at the Red Bull Ring, it was Lovelace. But for here, could it be
I knew he was gonna do it.
McCann? Could he play spoiler? Looking Lovelace.
He was a little hot.
Possible, and huge break. Just parks on the apex. Slid throughout the entire right-hand turn, though. But Lovelace is going to be
That
the
ain't too wide. Ain't gonna work through there. True.
of course, ringer of
I
this.
tried.
So far, with that pass, he has proven that he can do so. As Brian McCann is sent off the preferred racing line.
I figured he was gonna wait around and try to pass me in the pits. But like you were saying, Pete, I messed that turn up and he
Scotland has been thrown down. On the initial
Took it.
start, may have been Brian McCann. But up until now, it was McCann in the lead. Now it is Lovelace who is powering down on the corner exit of the hairpin. Goes through the slight right-hander.
we got a couple pit stops. We'll see what comes out.
Goes to Zachary Lovelace. The laps led. Can he stay out front? Is the next question to be asking here.
I gotta quit hitting that right-hander. And that one. These cars are wide.
So you're right on board looking back, you can see that, in fact, let's go ahead and do this.
Oh, he's gonna take off and leave now. He was just waiting.
Dominate throughout the lap. Let's go ahead and throw up the previous laps here for these drivers. Just that previous lap alone, Lovelace was
I got a few laps led out of it.
despite the fact that Lovelace was sliding. What a pass that was. It was clean too. And he did get the pass done. Let's see what the lap times are of these drivers this time by Lovelace across the line. 121.7, 121.8, 121.8 again, 122.2. Going down the order, fifth place, Hepperly goes with a 122.7. Jonathan Burt, 122.9.
Better that time.
122.7. Chavez, 120.
Oh, he is now.
6. That's a tongue twister and a half here. Jeez. 22s off the board. Now that everyone's starting to settle in a little bit. The variation is.
Yeah, I was muted the whole time. Sorry.
Slides a little bit.
It's all good.
125.4, 124.7 for Tony Brent, Doug Pearson, Daniel McConnell. Sorry, David McConnell.
It likes it when I hit that left hander.
Was a 70. Yours was an 82. So you're still right there.
It's David. Couldn't be any farther. Regardless, Doug Pearson, David McConnell battling for 11th place. Their lap times coming across 126.7, 126.3.
Nice.
That. Here are the leaders. And Brian McCann is caught right back up to the back bumper. We're going to go ahead and ride on board the number 8 machine of Brian McCann for a couple laps. You don't miss any bit of the action. Never mind, I might hold off on that because it's about to go side by side. But these two have different...
Name of the game is don't hit the curb like I just did.
Doug Pierce very slow.
He's using pretty much every single curb.
Off track. Was he considered...
Those last two right there, they suck. Now, down through here you can.
Go and take a look. Oh, he just slid throughout that corner. That's what happened. And of course, already the rear tires were hot enough as it was, and hard on the brakes just to keep the car under control. 22 McConnell gives him all the space in the world as if he was there. Great sportsmanship.
Oh, he's in the grass, maybe. Well, he checked up.
Like I said, I was about to go side by side, but I might sit here and wait because Brian McCann may have other ideas for the lead here. The starkly more noticeable 33 machine is about to come under fire.
He's getting desperate. He's mirror driving.
Aid with Brian McCann. Does Brian McCann go up the right-hand side? No, but he does make a look for that.
He ran a 22.03. You ran a 21.87. You were definitely faster by a couple of that. What?
Another uphill climb.
Almost 3/10.
Then a long, gradual downhill slope. Hard under the brakes, carrying a little bit more speed than you expected. Over the rumble strip. You could potentially dive up the right-hand side here, but you have to be super brave on the brakes. You have to not lock up the brakes at the same time, and you have to be close enough to do so. So no move from Brad McCann this time. Vaults over the curves on the right side.
Yeah, he's laying black marks.
Flicking the car.
He's on that throttle hard.
That is exactly what Lovelace is doing. He slid just a little bit, leaving some tire tracks in the left rear tire. And he's doing it again here, pushing to keep the 8 of McCann behind him. I think I heard McCann actually pulse the throttle a little bit.
He's going to lose those rears.
Lovelace is burning up the rear tires to the point where he has allowed McCann to catch up to him around the right-hand side.
Our caster just said the same thing.
Done here, although he does back out. I was about to say, this is slow on the right-hand side, decides against it. You can...
I've been a lot easier on those rears than he has, I think.
Recommended decision, not the recommended option here.
Yeah, I mean, you're not doing anything different, so you're just running your laps.
Well, throughout the...
And they're all pretty consistent.
Racetrack, Tony Brent was all over the back bumper of Travis Starr, but carried too much speed. Have to do his best to catch back up again for that 9th place position. Vaulting over the curves again, throwing the right-hand side over. Last time by the start-finish line, the gap was 0.2 of a second. David McConnell, interestingly enough, will be the first driver to blink and go the pit road.
I got him on the exit big time off of that one.
A little bit.
Yep, that's what I was saying earlier. That one corner was the only place where he could have taken advantage of you, and he did.
Why he went
everywhere else you were pulling away.
That's where my experience of drag racing comes into play.
He does. He stops in his box. No doubt, 4 tires and fuel for the number 22. Does he stay longer than around 15 seconds? He does, so McConnell might be having a couple of hardware issues. We'll see. Keeping on that 22 in the meantime. Brian McCann has not let the...
You got a whole lot of ownership there.
Yeah, I couldn't see the apex.
As I've said before, it's one thing to catch, and it's another thing to pass. McCann is going to be making that...
It is there.
Little flash.
Stage points at 20, no caution.
Took 4 in fuel.
It's Doug Pierce. He is going to go to pit road. I wonder if these drivers...
Mike Phillip from P3 just went down pit road also.
Fully...
It's 55 tanked, so we're wondering if you don't ever take tires.
Just about 3 stops beforehand. In fact, Michael Thorpe Jr. has blinked and gone to pit road himself. Let's get the caps up instead of the previous lap.
Handling-wise, I feel fine.
Drivers and where...
I don't know about lap time.
In this case, whether or not they're in pit road.
Your best is a 2015. So your last lap was a 22.71, so about 2.5 seconds off.
So, well, it might be a 2-stop race.
Mike Thorpe's taking 4 tires.
I hear about lap 15 to 18 or so, if not 15 to 20. Then once again around, I'd say lap 30 to 35. 15 seconds flat for Michael Thorpe Jr., 16.6 seconds in the box for Doug Pierce. David McConnell still sitting in his pit box after 2 minutes. Do we see the leaders go to pit road? We see either of them to try and make an undercut. That was a firm no from both drivers. What about Daniel McConnell? I almost said Dave McConnell. He stays out. 88 of Telemax stays out. The 6 of Jonathan Burr is also not pit. So, Michael Thorpe.
So what are you thinking about 4 tires on the first one, no tires on the next one? Just a splash and go.
How that fares in the next 3
Yeah, we can try that.
Carston's gone.
Because you won't have the big fall off on the second set.
The 34 here, we'll see.
Excuse me.
Throughout all of this, McCann and Lovelace have been nose to tail. Lovelace takes a more defensive lane.
Yeah, he's got a whole bunch of 8 in his mirror right now.
Able to hold off Brian McCann for now.
You've got 5.5 laps left in the tank.
Cars will dive down.
Did he just say pitting? I'm staying out if he's pitting.
I didn't hear it.
I think he's pitting.
Yep.
See what he does. See if he takes tires.
And Lovelace will be the driver to blink first.
Yep, checking right now. That's what we were talking about in practice. That's what we wanted to know.
New.
Yep.
So I wonder if he figures now that if he's free from behind Zachary Lovelace, then McCann will be able to use the clean air to set a fast lap and pit the lap after. We'll see.
I think I can run faster than he was too.
To pit road, Heberly Telemac has stayed out, so has Jonathan Burke. Bill Chavez will be the next driver to keep an eye on. He stays out. And Lovelace has just now, after 25 seconds, has gone into his pit box. This is a long pit road here at Sonoma. It's even more excruciating.
Yep, 4 in tires. Or 4 in fuel.
Having your pit stall all the way down. If Brian McCann goes to pit road here, we'll...
I want to stay out, right?
He's going to be a little bit quicker.
Now the attention
When's the stage?
from
20
to out laps.
Yeah, stay out.
Seeing how fast these drivers are once they...
Yeah, let's burn this tank off, come in, get tires, and then splash go on the next one. Let's just
Interesting.
stay on that plan.
And it stays out. I think
Okay.
my idea of his strategy is now is that he's going to go ahead and stretch it to the end of the stage. Well, Zachary Lovelace and Michael Thorpe Jr. as well as Phil Chavez. Hello. He has not pit yet, so Thorpe and Lovelace will make their way by. Let's see. No, maybe eyeing pit road, if anything, for Phil Chavez, but no physical movement from the car to indicate that he's going to pit road. So across the start finish line once again on the main racing service. Brian McCann all the way over here. Now on the front stretch, here's both Michael Thorpe and...
See what lap times he runs.
Thorpe takes a very wide line over to the right-hand side.
Yep.
Potential may have unsettled the car on that turn.
His out lap was a 42. Almost a 43.
Does bite the car. Switching back and forth to see if McCann does decide to go to pit road. Nailing the curb is Zachary Lovelace. That'll send him back a little bit. McCann stays out now. He has a 16-second gap between himself and Heberly Telemac. If I were McCann,
Nah, we're good.
I would just stay out, or else the maximum amount of stage points will go to Heberly. To be fair, for Brian McCann, he doesn't really need these extra stage points. See how things fare in the meantime, especially between Lovelace and Thorpe, because Lovelace has finally made its way through the right-hand side of Michael Thorpe Jr. Both drivers still remain in the top 5. Lovelace up to 4th. It's going to be a long time until we complete the stage.
Lovelace ran a 2082. Your last lap was a 2212.
The message from Race Control regardless. So does Brian McCann go to pit road? He can.
Yeah, but he's cutting it in thirds, and he's probably going to take tires again. If I do a splash and go, how many seconds is that?
Need stage points. There are no playoff points awarded in these stages.
You're talking about cutting off about 7 seconds.
Throws all that out the window.
Yeah, so I'm pitting this lap.
Staying out.
This right here is stage.
Thinking out a little bit. Did see it rotating a little bit slower. So moving towards these next.
Does he only gain what 2 seconds on me there, and you're going to gain another 2?
Mac has not yet gone pit road. Neither is Jonathan.
Yeah.
Or Phil.
So full service.
I want to say they're forced to stay out, but in a way they are kind of forced.
I got you.
So
That windshield tear off too.
win the stage.
No.
Yeah, I got a dot on there.
Finish third in the stage, just in front of Zachary
Oh, does
Love.
it look like a broken pixel?
An extra 6 points for this stage finish. Bill
All right,
Chavez,
you're set. I'm giving you back your spotter.
where is he in relation to Daniel McConnell? We'll see.
Car on your left.
Bill Chavez,
all clear.
Daniel McConnell. It's going to be close to the start-finish line. Daniel McConnell gets 6th.
He
All right, watch your entry.
might.
Adjust your brake bias if you need to.
Chavez in 7th. There's Hunter Karsten. He'll get 9th place.
Where's the
Correction, 8th place.
slowdown line at? Ain't it around this corner? Yeah.
It's up here, yeah.
Actually did.
But also at the same time, you don't want to wreck the wall.
He did,
There you go.
yes. Then Travis Start will finish 9th place in the stage with Tony Brent rounding out the stage.
Pit road is all yours.
Pit box in 10,
And just like that, when all is said and done,
5,
here's number 8 car on pit road.
3, 2, 1. Right here.
Oh, them tires are still good. We had 70-some% left on.
Headley Taylor Max. So now this leaves the net lead, hands it over to the 33 of Zachary Lovelace.
Ready,
All right,
ready.
that's it. Go.
The difference
Come, don't speed.
between the pit stops between Lovelace and McCann, about 4 laps. So
car behind
McCann will
you,
have
pitting.
4 lap fresher tires. Thorpe has 2 lap older tires. Then
Are they going to be a little loose at first? Take it easy.
McCann just now got on pit road actually. Justin Burt also in his pit box, so no doubt Travis Start will be coming in the pit road. Of course, he's a long ways behind, but regardless. Left sides and right sides for pretty much everybody here on pit road. Go ahead and ride on board Travis Stan. No, he won't. Surprisingly, he stays out. Slides a little bit in turn in the final corner here. So, stage points officially awarded by Race Control. With all of that out of the way, here's Tony Brent. Let's take a look at Tony Brent's pit entry, and here's why. You don't have to abide by the speed limit up until
Very nice hairpin. That looked really good.
in those yellow cones. You don't have to really abide by the speed limit. So if you really wanted to, if you really wanted to play it dangerously, you could go ahead and just try and send your car through.
Lovelace was over 6 seconds up. It's already down to within the 4-second bracket.
Well, as we have finalized our pit stops as well as complete the stage, and we're just about to approach the halfway point.
34 just went off track.
Go ahead and throw it to side by side so you don't miss any of the action. I'll keep an eye on our leader, Zachary Lovelace, if not the closest battle while we are side by side. In the meantime, I'll be back momentarily.
Plus, with this lap difference, if I do catch him, I'll be able to pass him faster. Or easier.
Yeah. No, 34 is definitely falling back to you. Lovelace now 3.5 up.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel.
34 is really trying to push it.
The future is feeling.
Nice. Take it inside. There you go. Can I throttle?
WRS, we're always here to help our squad
Still there.
push in the right direction. That's just who we are.
Still right rear door. Still door.
A diverse group of goofballs dedicated to driving fake
Clear.
cars as fast as possible. And we continue to push each other through
Good job.
using the power of nonsense. We have one of the strongest NASCAR programs on the service, and you can access it all for $24.99 a month. And we just
You
released
just ran the fastest lap of the race so far. Good job.
a month for each NASCAR vehicle. We also just added a rallycross program, and our IndyCar program is taking off as well. So come join the weird side. We have speed and cookies. Cookies are not included in some locations.
Yeah, how much fuel do I need to finish the race?
So you got 18 and a half in the tank now. About 8 laps. Which I'll go ahead and I'll set that up. So you're thinking no tires and enough for 8 laps?
Yep.
All right. Good save. I got it, Derek. I see you.
Oh, we're passing.
I'm figuring about 5 gallons, Brian.
10-4.
There you go, right side.
We are back
Clear.
just in time to see the 8 of Brian McCann
I don't want to try to pass him there.
try and make a move
I want to get him in that last turn.
side of Zachary Lovelace uphill into turn 2, not able to get it done.
It's going to be my
Try
choice here,
outbreak
Brock. Yeah.
Ken had made his way by
I
the
need to be on the right side if I want to pass him there.
just a few laps ago, and since then has been pretty much set alight. The 4-lap fresher tires playing into his favor. There's Doug Pierce letting both drivers through. Dave McConnell is back for the most part. Tony Brent, for one reason or another, had for some reason pulled behind into the virtual garage. Not sure as to why. It was shortly after his pit stop, about 4 laps afterwards. So again, a rare DNF for the number 28 for the second time this season. But to be fair, he is safe and sound, so everything should be fine for him going into the round of 12 in 2 weeks' time. Same for both of these drivers in the front too. They have been pretty much locked in with the 1 win for their season, or for this season rather. Well, I say 1 win. That was 1 win for Lovelace, and that's been 7 for Brian McCann. No, I've said 7 this entire time. I am very incorrect. This is his 6th win. So anytime I said 7th, I was incorrect. But Lovelace has been able to hold off the hard-charging 8 of Brian McCann throughout these last few laps. But can he do it for another 20 is the question. Especially with how pit stops are, the offset between Lovelace and McCann is about 5 laps. 4 laps, actually. So unless Lovelace is able to stretch a couple laps more than Brian McCann, we're going to be seeing the similar thing heading into...
If you're going to stay on these tires, just be careful. 22 to go.
Daniel McConnell is towed to pit road and nearly hitting the tire barrier.
Right side. Right rear and clear. Good job.
Shift better throughout this portion of the course.
Gonna try and up.
Here's
Thought he was gonna think about the crossover, but backed out of it.
crossover uphill. Not able to make a move though. Go ahead and use the rumble strip on left hand.
That was the turbo button.
Daniel McConnell must have been a crash because he had
But he's like, how the hell did that just happen? Of course, new tires help, or newer tires help.
Let's the 72 hits the curb. Oh. It wasn't necessarily race-ending damage, but apparently it was enough for Daniel McConnell to think that would be race done. Maybe it was a maybe broken suspension in the rear of the car.
Last lap, you ran at 26. He ran at 52.
50th of the evening. So that leaves only 10 drivers left on the racetrack. Another battle heating up between 2 drivers is Jonathan Burt and Hunter.
You've now got a full second over him.
For the 5th place position. Dare I say, knock on wood if you have any, Texas Speed have been having a pretty solid outing for this race. Lovelace in 2nd, Telemac in 3rd, Burt in 6th, looking for 5th for Hunter Karsten. Just peeking the nose to the right-hand side, a little bit too much on the throttle. I can definitely understand from doing racing myself that
Down to 20 to go. You got 12 in the tank.
eager to absolutely get going and keep the nose there alongside that driver just so they know that you are there and you're challenging for that position. Sometimes it does backfire,
A little hot, just a little bit.
especially in case of
I'm
getting
gonna give you 6 gallons just in case.
10-4.
in that case you spin the rear tires and the car just can't handle that for the most part. Not sure how I'm entirely late to this, which is very unfortunate. David McConnell's reasoning is that he hadn't had practice. He did not want to put the leaders at risk, which, fair enough. That's a really fun car track combination, considering this is... I wonder if they do this in real life. They should. I don't know.
3 seconds up on P2 now. Your last lap was a 21.56. His was a 22.63. So a full second faster.
To get around the 1300 Carson, I'm going to be doing a quick schedule.
Do tell.
NASCAR schedule. So I actually don't remember if Xfinity even go to Sonoma. I could have sworn they had. No, they do. All right. They go in June. And, of course, yeah, Shane Van Gisbergen won that one in June. Yeah, okay. That makes sense.
Ooh, that right front's locking up. I'm gonna have to brake a little bit earlier.
They went earlier in the season instead of the summer. One of these days, NASCAR should go to Sonoma in the early.
You want right side tires or still just none?
None.
Incorporate Sonoma to the
I'll
West
just make an
Coast.
adjustment.
I'll be happy. It's part of the West
Okay.
Coast.
Okay.
I don't know if we have a West Coast swing anymore at this point, but
Right foot. Right foot
a
adjustment.
little bit of digressing. Meanwhile, Travis Start has been in his pit box for the past 30
Let off a little earlier.
So I don't see any visible damage on this side necessarily.
Gotcha. AKA backing up the corner.
Yeah, it's odd because it was able to handle it earlier, but now it's not.
Dave leaving the right-hand side open for the 6th of Jonathan Burt. Opens the door again. Both drivers getting onto the throttle as much as possible.
Lovelace now 4 seconds back.
Being on the throttle, but also on the throttle. You can find the league-based affiliate links to Bug Kicker, On the Throttle Racing as well.
There's my black mark
So that's all in the description below.
from last lap.
More specifically affiliated with, again, the league directly as opposed to us here at the broadcast. But, of course, I'm not going to deny the sponsors of the league any and all TV time. Of course, Bug Kicker being around for a huge amount of time, being, dare I say, an established name in sim racing. And we have On the Throttle Racing, which they are doing podcasts on their various platforms. And then Team Watson Racing Setups. Well, it's in the name. They do racing setups. And it's the very short version of the sponsors of this league. And the very long version for Jonathan Burt to get around Hunter Karsten isn't exactly known to do that well. Never mind. Hunter Karsten goes way wide in the...
Hey, Tim! Nah, this is the Xfinity.
Jonathan Burt just barely shuts the door. And after so many laps, maybe Jonathan Burt can finally breathe a sigh of relief. I say that. There goes Hunter Karsten trying to make a move up the right-hand side. Well,
Hey, Kyle.
side, but nothing doing there throughout the uphill section.
All right, thank you, Derek.
Too
Have a good one.
getting onto the,
Going on, Mr. Schofield.
especially again from low speeds, the rear tires just don't like that. Well, I say the rear tires, the car doesn't like that as a whole. Zachary Lovelace, first driver to go to pit road again with 16.
Lovelace pit.
Brian McCann still
See if he takes tires.
for another undercut, no doubt. We'll see.
Yep, watching.
Off here in these final 15 laps. But again, yeah, we are reaching that point of pit stops. And in fact, we reached that point 2 laps ago because not only did Doug Pierce go to the pit road, so did Michael Thorpe Jr. Somehow I missed that the pass between Hemperly and Michael Thorpe Jr.
Yep, 4 in fuel.
Position
14-second stop, 13.78.
2 laps now, 3 laps ago.
Or he might have taken just rights in full tank, but he definitely grabbed tires.
Goes uphill and just gets out in front of Michael Thorpe Jr.
All us be able to tell from his pit stop or his first lap. His in lap was at 1:23.02.
At this point, I feel like it's at this rate a what's the word? An obligatory mention to mention the 33 and the 34 finding themselves together on the
All
racetrack.
right, 16 to go, and you got 8.6 in the tank.
Box, surprisingly, no. That is mere inches, no doubt.
Now 15 to go.
Between, I was gonna say between those two, between Hunter Karsten overshooting his pit box.
He pitted in this lap.
Thing that my brain.
Now remember, when you come out after pitting, tires are going to be
Michael
wicked loose, and the car is going to be light.
plays. So now this is a question of when does Brian McCann pit? He has, well, the pit lane time, the total time spent in pit road is about 43 seconds. The gap between Lovelace and McCann is 36 seconds. And that's only going to be dropping from here on out. Telemack and pit road, same with Jonathan Bird.
All right, Tim, have a good one.
Entry lane, or pit entry line. Same goes for Philip Chavez.
His out lap was a 1:43.7.
To try and stretch it out. And Hemperly
Thank you, Tim.
to the pit box.
He went down pit road and stayed in second. How about that?
Is Brian McCann. Down the way goes the
Splashing goes a good idea.
getting the right sides up in the car. And here's Philip Chavez stopping in his box. And yes, that was the entire time when we saw Philip Chavez.
I can switch it.
Don't adjust your pictures. That was a whole
Might be too late now because now he's done passed me on track time.
and all that in the interim. Philip Chavez had not been his pit box from the time we saw
If we wanted to do that, we needed to pit right after he did
enter.
and take 4. I say we just stay with what we got. If I lose, I lose.
Okay.
"34 seconds now is the gap, and that's only lowering between these front 2 runners. Nothing much else to do except keep an eye on Brian McCain to see what he does here.
He could potentially beat me though,
Pit entry lane. Pit entry.
because he did pit early.
I guess it was pit entry lane going towards
His first
line.
Yeah, he did. His first lap was a 1:19.9.
Does not pit again. Maybe just trying to weigh those extra laps once again. It helped him before. We'll see how much it'll help him this time, but the more he stays out, the more that gap closes. This time by the start finish line, McCann's lap time 1:22.374.
When do I need a pit to get gas?
It's between McCann and Lovelace,
I would actually,
which means you have to wait about 30.
I would think about starting to come down
Yeah.
because he's gaining a whole bunch of time on you.
Yeah, I want to stay out in front of him.
Seconds.
Like get fuel and stay out in front of him.
So now it's about 32-ish seconds flat.
Yep. I've got it set for fuel only.
Or we could just Hail Mary and put 4 on and I can outrun him again.
122.47.
How many laps we got? We got 10 laps?
I can change that if you want me to.
Closing by
Nah, let's just come in now.
13 to go.
is the 33 of Lovelace.
Got it all set up.
Coming in now, no tires, yeah?
Pit road at this
Yep.
time by. It's been
Yep.
3 laps.
Giving you back your spotter.
Yes, he does. Through into the pit lane. Going all the way through the pit entry line. And it did look like, now I'm not saying
Nobody came in behind you.
speeding, but the appearance may look like he was speeding. He's about 33 miles an hour at the pit lane. He was fine because the pit speed limit is 45 miles per hour.
Right here.
Now this is the part where we hurry up and wait more than anything else.
All right.
There's Philip Chavez. Oh, fuel only for the 8 of Brian McCann. That is a fascinating call. McCann is trusting his tires enough that it will get him to the end, that he's only gone for fuel. I was about to start saying, well, Lovelace got to the hairpin. And now that gap is 5.7 seconds. So it's fresh tires versus fuel only. McCann's
He might actually win.
making these tires last to the end for the majority of the race. That is actually quite fascinating. I don't know if that was necessarily the best call. We'll see how this fares over the next 12 laps, maybe even less. That gap is hovering at about 5.3 seconds between McCain and Lovelace. See, fuel only does pay off for the 8 of...
On the exit there, you actually pulled away.
I mean, he's burning his new tires up, and I'm faster in the long run, so it may work out. I don't know.
Maybe not, because the 6 of Jonathan Burke got passed
It might.
by Hunter Karsten. Let's see what happened to the 6 of Jonathan Burt here. Going uphill into turns 1, 2, 3, 4. Did the clip occur?
10 to go next time.
No, just way too much speed in the downhill dip. And tires, of course, did not react to that too well. And that's how the 6 had got by the 13 of Hunter Karsten. Well, it's a 4-second gap now. While we still have the chance, we're going to ride on board with Zachary Lovelace for about a lap here. Stand by line, 4 seconds, the gap. Let's listen in.
Seems like the area of the track that he gains the most on you is going up those hills. He's being a little bit more aggressive going uphill than you are.
By 1 second per lap.
But that's just virtue of the newer tires.
Again, we'll see if the fuel only portion pays off for Brian McCann, but fresher tires, I don't know. Nothing much to do except just watch the cars and watch the gap come down. It's at 2 seconds. Last time by the start finish line, it was. It's not actually. There's no way. Apparently, the last time by the at the line for Brian McCann, a 121.799. And then switching back to Zachary Lovelace, a 120.699 was his previous lap. That is absolutely incredible. Let's see what it is this time by for the last time. Start finish line 121.822, 120.818. Again, still just a second faster is Zachary Lovelace. Again, we'll see if this pays off or not, but that's the gap right there. Meanwhile, for 5th place, it's a little bit of a close gap. It's 0.8 of a second between Hunter Karsten and Jonathan Burt. Those two have started to close up to each other once again. A bit of a slide, it seems, from the 6th of Jonathan Burt, but he does hang on to it. Gap is now getting to the point here for the lead, where it's just slowly starting to kick in on the timing screen that it's starting to become a little bit important. Same goes for this battle for 5th place. Karsten and Burt have found each other once again.
It looks like it's a bad call.
Across the start-finish line was 8 laps ago.
I'm gonna blow my doors off.
Well,
Jonathan Burt.
I don't know. He's really been having to push. I've watched him get loose a couple times. And have to catch it. Like I said, it's just on the hills where he's really gaining on you.
For that number 6, as well as we saw the left side tires of the 13 nail the curb. Dare I say, I won't say Jonathan Burt's necessarily better throughout that section, but definitely not nailing the curbs as much as other drivers may be. And while this goes on, there's this battle as well, just while behind those two, actually. Because Zachary Lovelace has caught up to the back bumper of Brian McCann.
He's going to blow my doors off.
For the A machine may have not played in his favor. I say may have. It definitely didn't.
Catching and passing are two different things.
Again, it's one thing to pass. It's one thing to catch. It's another thing to pass.
As long as he does it cleanly.
If Lovelace is able to get...
The thing is, he can get a better run on me on this turn right here.
Yeah, but does he?
Side tires in the gravel once again. I say the gravel, just off the racetrack. Does Lovelace go for it? No, he does not. Stays behind. The 8 takes a little bit of a wider entry. Just taking all of that space possible, just not running the tire barriers. Tire stacks, more accurately. 6 laps to go.
Damn, I got to defend for 6 laps.
And in the second to last regular
Oops.
potentially see a third repeat winner, actually. I was about to say a second.
He's got stars in his eyes.
Cameron Sarton. Well, I don't want to say
He might, but he still has to try to pass you.
if it counts for a repeat.
And like I said, he's been pushing the entire time to catch you.
Back. So a second repeat winner in the form of Zachary Lovelace. But first he has to get by Brian McCann. Then he has to have a stable car for the next 5.5 laps. Keep the car under and make sure that the 8 doesn't get by. There's the view, of course, out front, and a lap car just up ahead. But that is the view behind for Brian McCann. The 33 of Lovelace looming in the mirrors. just getting to the back bumper, but not alongside.
He
Just
got a little loose under throttle. He went wide to try to cut under you, and it wasn't there for him. So I really think he's pushed this hard.
be a suspension at work on the 33, and look at how much better of a run he got here. All the
Don't you do it.
bumper. Does he use the bumper? No, nearly though. One lock of the brakes, and more than likely will end up into the back of Brian McCann here, who we're riding on board with, just watching the 33 of Zachary Lovelace, trying to figure out every which way possible to get alongside the number 8 machine.
Left side.
There could be the run for the 33, and it is, because Brian McCann goes defensive around the left-hand side through the hair.
Nice.
Go the 8.
You're clear. You're clear.
Lovelace not able to get the grip, though, on the left-hand side. And he won't be able to cap
How long is he going to put up with that, though?
third lane on the left-hand side here throughout these next couple bends,
Well,
especially up arrow, but being on the right-hand side is crucial.
if he wrecks you, well, then you'll know.
Again, Lovelace is just right to the gearbox. No better view than this to showcase just the ebbing and flowing of the style and the pace that both these drivers have here.
He went wide.
Sonoma.
He checked up for you.
The view to have. Lovelace backed off a
Look for him to try to do it in that turn next time.
can, no doubt. There
Coming to 3 to go.
a slide from the 33. It may have been Lovelace is better through here last corner, or last lap. Looks to be better
Dang it.
here. Does he go to
Oh, he threw it in.
the corner? He doesn't. He made it look.
Nope, keep going. Get on it. Get on it. You're clear.
Brian McCann left the door open. We've seen this happen between Jonathan Burton and Hunter Carson, and again, getting the better run out of the hairpin. 3 laps to go. It's Brian McCann.
Last lap, you ran an 88. He ran a 98.
Sure.
So I think you're down to
Cars around.
whoever runs the best line.
Lap times between these two have been pretty much similar, within a tenth or so. Look at Lovelace looking to make a move. McCann went defensive.
Left side.
Off the momentum, but it's not going to stop Lovelace from going around the left-hand side. Can he get it passed on the outside?
Clear.
The short chute they go. And Lovelace
I knew he was going to try something there. I said it last lap.
will have to fall back behind McCann again. Well, he was there. He knows.
The more we do this, the more angry he gets, though.
He knows it's possible to get alongside.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of not
Well, he's not faster.
follow down to the.
I mean, he's faster than you in some parts of track, but you guys are leveled out.
You have to find the right gear to be in. Sometimes if the driver is able to, the driver you're battling, in case they're able to outdrive you on corner exit, that's fine. I would take that any day of the week.
He went wide, got a little loose. You got a half-second lead.
This could come down to a last lap
2 to go.
for the lead. 2 laps to go this time by. Ken looking for his first road course win of the season. Had he not had those issues they had at the Red Bull Ring, maybe he could have challenged for the lead there. But instead, it was Zachary Lovelace who had won at the Red Bull Ring in quite dominant fashion. If I remember correctly, leading pretty much every single lap except for the ones where he's pit. Lovelace throwing the car over the rumble.
Coming to the white flag, Brian.
Battle for 5th place is going to go down to between Jonathan Burt and Hunter Karsten, and maybe Hunter Karsten who's going to be out on top of this battle for 5th. Because Jonathan Burt was hard on the brakes.
Way to keep it tight. Good job.
For them, so they do have a chance to battle it out still for 5th place. This time by, it will be 1 lap to go for the leaders. Brian McCann takes the white flag here at Sonoma. Zachary Lovelace on a fresher set of tires, trying to chase down the 8 of Brian McCann to sweep the road courses here at the Full Send Racing Series. Lovelace has been alongside the 8 of Brian McCann a couple points throughout this course. Can he catch up again? And can he get alongside? And can he stay ahead? Time very quickly running out. Lap traffic might be a factor. We'll see how things go here.
He got a little loose, rear end kicked out.
To make our way through the S's. Over the curves we go. Left hand, then the right hand turn, crest uphill, dive downhill. A slight left hand turn, hard on the brakes if you dare. And this
Keep it tight.
could be the last gasp effort for Zachary Lovelace. Does he send it into the hairpin? No.
Hell yeah, Brian.
For Brian McCann through the hairpin.
It wasn't easy.
How hard is Lovelace on the throttle?
Was not
Nice
easy.
work, sir. You earned that one.
It is Brian McCann.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
The season at Sonoma.
Ooh,
Congratulations, sir.
I knew exactly where to have to defend.
Oh, keep an eye here on the 5th place battle.
Ooh, I'm sweating after that one. Oh my goodness.
Flag
I'm
for
gonna have to take 2 showers.
are the last cars.
No doubt.
But in fact, it might be all said and done. Jonathan Burt has dropped back a significant amount, nailing the curb. Not going to help him much either.
I'm just glad he didn't wreck me.
Hell yeah, man.
Wait and see how
Thank you.
the final
Yeah,
portion of the course
Absolutely.
goes.
There was plenty of times when he had the chance to.
Especially for Hunter Karsten, mistakes could still be made here going into the hairpin.
I had to be super careful right here because he could get around that right-hander better,
Through the hairpin goes Hunter Karsten. Easy
especially when he had the curb like
that's
that.
where he was making up most of his time on the hills on the newer tires.
for the 60
But-
challenge,
Once he burned them off,
which goes
he was equal, but you were still a little bit better. I mean, your lap times were better.
He
His
slid
last
right
lap
there.
was a 22:18. His was a 37.
this race. Brian McCann with a
Yeah, I think
on a road course here at Sonoma.
when he caught me, he was a little bit faster, but like on the last like 4 or 5 laps,
finishes
we were about even.
Happily Mac 4th. A very quiet day for the 88. A quiet but powerful day for the 88 machine. Absolutely wonderful job there. Same goes for Hunter Karsten. Same.
So I don't
Brian,
think-
you were talking about racing for second. I mean, I don't know.
It was close.
Speed top
Close.
5, but still managed to finish in
Well, technically, we were racing for second. I just came out ahead by
Bill Chavez
by that much.
and Travis Start, Ricky Bobby Motorsports 7th, 8th, and 9th. Daniel McConnell finishing in 10th place position. 11th
All right, sir.
place
I will catch
is
you
Brent
on Monday night.
David McConnell.
Have a good night.
13th.
All right, man. You too. Thank you for sticking around and spotting.
For Ryan Lynch, both drivers not having the
As always, you're welcome.
days, a little bit of an off day for both of them, but hopefully we see them succeed next week regardless. Go ahead and get interviews done with
Hey, how bad were you wanting to wreck me?
3. And,
Did you just not take tires?
practicing as well, just to be
No.
on the safe side that
Why?
we will not be
My original plan was to do the stage,
So my
take
brain
tires, and then just take a splash of fuel
here.
to make it to the end.
Championship standings will
But
be redone.
I didn't
and
anticipate you guys
the
splitting it in
broadcast
thirds And that
Standings a
was
little bit
probably
messed
the
up, but
better idea if you wanted to win the race. So
the championship standings will be
Yeah, the
updated
tires are just
and redone
too
going
important.
into after the
yeah, I thought more people would race for the
actually,
stage, but I think I was probably the only one.
just to be on the safe side. Let's go ahead and get a word in with your top 3 finishers. Thorpe not available just yet, so we'll go with the 33.
Good run though. That was a lot of
Zachary
hard
Lovelace.
racing between us.
Yeah, I couldn't keep the rear tires in check, so it was never really on. But yeah, we ran
And
close.
What a battle he had with the 8.
Oh, he's already pulled Zach up.
And standing by is the 33 Zachary Lovelace. New paint scheme this week, apparently, which even caught me off guard a little bit. So just to
Usually this broadcaster goes to sponsors and then pulls us up.
into the theme for your paint scheme for this week.
Mix it up.
Just had to mix it up. Fair enough.
And then
It worked regardless, but
Michael Thorpe got
still a
third.
very good job for you today. I know you had decided to, of course, the 2-stop was pretty successful. You challenged Brian McCann after the first round of pit stops. Both of you were battling pretty much throughout the entire racetrack, more racing the track than each other, and also at times each other. The fuel-only stop pretty much put Brian McCann in your clutches, but at the end of the race, it seems like the tires were just too much to bear for the car there.
Yeah, he just managed the car a lot better than I did. This track is a lot more rear limited than Red Bull Ring, and that was very apparent. I could not keep my rear tires under me to save my life. I think by the end of it, he on his old tires was probably in better condition than mine on my newer ones, and so I never really had the pace against him. Once he passed me there in the middle of that second round, I knew it was over. I don't fully know why he would not take tires. I guess. I mean, he had like a 7-second lead going in. It wouldn't have put him behind me, and even if he did, he was quicker than me. But I guess it kept it interesting. But luckily, despite the strategy, the better driver won today.
And of course, with you and your apparent experience with road courses, go ahead and walk us
Threw me a bone.
Of course, the what you had in mind
Nice guy.
into this race versus the Red Bull Ring. Like you mentioned, this track was more rear limited.
He definitely
especially with the elevation.
showed me how to drive a Red Bull though.
Compared to
like
the Red
half a
Bull
track
Ring,
on me.
where you could kind of carry the speed at a lot of places, and here you can kind of do the same, but the elevation seems to really kill the traction at a lot of points throughout this racetrack.
Yeah, I don't know the turn numbers, but the slow turn at the end of the chute and then the hairpin were just they were the tricky spots. I just couldn't get them right. It was really hard to keep the tires with it, and my plan was to lead a little bit there and just ease the tires into it. But I didn't even keep the lead for a turn there at the beginning, and I pretty much overheated my tires to death making that first pass in the run there. So it was just a bunch of desperation and sloppy driving on my part. So it is what it is.
Still enough for a second place finish, of course, and still enough of a gap as well, even if you ended up say finishing second the Red Bull Ring. So next week is the what I like to call the roulette wheel of racing, which
No way, he won Red Bull.
So your thoughts as we head into that for the regular season finale?
Luckily I don't need to do good there. I don't do good at supers. If I actually put myself in a decent spot, I get wrecked. And I guess that's about how everybody does it. Hopefully I can push a teammate into a good spot.
And like you mentioned for a teammate as well, great day for Texas Speed, I believe 2nd, 4th, and 6th. So great day for you guys. And of course, before we go ahead and let you go ahead and shout out who hopes to get it done for that number 33.
Well, yeah, it's always Texas Speed. Those guys work with me a lot, help me out, and it's great racing with them. And you for putting on the broadcast.
Thanks for your time as well. Good to talk to you, and we hope to talk to you again some point later on in the season. That is the 33 of Zachary Lovelace. Of course, no doubt, very dejected after the and even more so coming into Sonoma, qualifying in the first place position. But surprisingly, on a second no tire stop for the number 8 of Brian McCann, he managed to pull out a fuel only stop and make that a success. So go ahead and walk us through what was the reasoning for not taking tires there at the end?
The original plan and what I stuck with the entire race, and I probably shouldn't have, but we was going to run it all the way to the stage, lap 20, and then take tires and fuel, and then just do a splash and go on the last pit stop and not take tires. And if everybody else was running, that probably would have been better, but everybody else looked like they just split the race in thirds, and that was better overall, and that's why Zach almost won there. So it was a mistake on my part, but we tried to do the best we could with it.
And of course, it was a success. This time I have the correct count. This is definitely 7 wins for you this week. Unfortunately for me, I have to do some fun spreadsheet changes because some things are slightly incorrect. But what's not incorrect is the 7th win of the season. So in case you weren't locked in enough, you're even more firmly locked in than anybody else. But regardless, no doubt heading into Talladega for next week. Actually, before we touch on Talladega, let's go ahead and touch on the racetrack for this week, especially compared to the Red Bull Ring, where there you had finished in 4th, and compare that to here, where there's significantly more elevation change and a lot more. I keep wanting to say gravel, but it's more grass that can come out to bite you. So, comparing Sonoma and the Red Bull Ring, what did you find or do differently for each of the races?
The biggest difference for me personally, Red Bull, I had never ran before. That was the first time I've ran it when we ran it here in Full Send. So I didn't have a lot of experience. But Sonoma here, I got quite a bit more experience. And I heard Zach mention earlier that this track is way more rear limited than the other one. And, with that experience, I know kind of the throttle points and how to back off that rear to maintain that rear tire. So that helped out greatly here.
And of course, now we'll go ahead and touch on that Talladega. Like I mentioned, the roulette wheel, essentially, of racing in any and all motorsports for for pretty much any racing series ever. So going to Talladega for next week, I mean, you're pretty much locked in, but regardless, your thoughts as we head into what could effectively be constant four-wide racing if we do end up getting that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the dice roll at Talladega. You can be in the back and go to the front on the last lap. So in anybody's game, we'll just try to find a drafting partner and see what'll happen.
And of course, we'll go ahead and let you go. You know the drill by now. Go ahead and shout who gets it done for you for that number 8 machine.
Yeah, my family, everybody who makes this league happen, our sponsors, big shout out to them. They put a lot into it. You for doing the broadcast, everybody watching Night Drivers for showing up. Repeat 1975 spotter, Jones paints and designs on the car. Yeah, fun racing. Thank you.
And thank you for your time. We'll talk to you again once next week.
Later.
Brian McCann, race winner for this week. Maybe we can do, and maybe we won't do championship settings. We'll do that after the race in the meantime. But regardless, still a very, very enjoyable race throughout here at Sonoma, putting on a great show as it always tends to do so. And of course, as we had seen, next week is going to be an absolute dice roll. Somebody from
y'all have a good one.
Still make it in.
We're going to take 2 showers after that race.
It's still going to be close
see y'all
regardless. Going
Monday, I guess.